So what is science and why is it important? So the formal definition of science is the knowledge obtained by making observations in order to discover facts and formulate laws or principles that can be tested. That sounds totally boring. You have to take a science class every year from kindergarten till when you're in college, sometimes even beyond that. So why do they keep making you take this? Why is this science deemed so important? Why do you keep having to learn about it? If you think about the things that you interact with every day, science has played a hand in pretty much every single one of them. Science is currently working on all of these things and so many more, such as medicine. This is from, what's the maximum amount of aspirin we can give, who is the people that we can give aspirin to, basic stuff like that, to really advanced things. How can we cure cancer? How can we make a better drug to work on HIV and AIDS? Food, everything from genetically engineering food, how do we grow food longer, bigger, better, how are we able to, provide a more organic experience for the food while still having it last longer, all of that with food for sure. Construction, as far as, building things safer, better, designing things, how do we build them taller, bigger, all of those construction people, the ones that are doing the designing process, they're all scientists. Fabric design, if you think about new fabrics that you might wear, maybe it's a faux fur or a faux leather or something, that fabric was designed by somebody. Or if you think about if you have little brothers and sisters, a lot of their pajamas are flame retardant. That means they can't light on fire. How did they get that? Who tested it to see if it was not flammable? How did they come up with a fabric that's not flammable? Those people, scientists, drinks, if you think about sports drinks that are coming out, energy drinks that are coming out, adult beverages that are out, drinks in general, how do we make it lower calorie, lower carb, more protein, more energy, more caffeine, what's safe, what can we do with it? Manipulating those drinks, how do we still make it taste good? That's all scientists. Cars and travel, everything from how do I make this car go faster to how do I make this bicycle more aerodynamic or this skateboard go even more fast to how do we get a bunch of people to Mars to start a colony there. All of those people who are working on that at any level, scientists. Safety in general, even from something as like major as a seatbelt to just really basic safety type things, making helmets safer, making air travel safer. Even stuff that doesn't have to do with air travel. How do we make designs of things safer, stuff like that. Theme parks, if you think about roller coasters, virtual rides, all of that designed by scientists. Movies, tons and tons of the special effects in movies. If you think about the Mythbuster guys, they came from working in special effects, and now they're doing all these awesome science experiments. So how does this information that we have become science? So we have these three categories of information. We have hypotheses, theories, and laws. There are tons and tons of hypotheses, very few theories, and even fewer, like barely any laws. So the hypotheses, these are in general just educated guesses. They have not been highly replicated yet, they haven't been seen by a lot of people yet, and they can be about anything. Anyone can make them, they can be about anything. Then you've got theories. So to move from a hypothesis to a theory, it has to have been, you have lots and lots of people who have done it. They've all gotten the same results. Lots and lots. I'm talking basically the entire scientific community has to say, yep, when we've tested it, we have all this data, tons and tons of data, more data than you could ever imagine to back it up, and we all reach the same conclusion. We say, yep, for pretty sure, this is for real. So that's what a theory is. It's a thing we know for almost certain, but we can't prove it yet. We're still looking for ways how, but we can't prove it yet. But as we gather more data, all of this data, everything that we have is telling us that this is the right answer. There's been lots and lots of replication, and there haven't been any other answers. A theory is also for things that are works in progress. Things that we're constantly learning more and more about. For example, cell theory. We've seen cells, but we're learning so much more about the cell and how it works and the different parts to it that as we gather more information, we don't know all about the cell yet, so we still call it a theory because we're still learning more information, we're still getting more data. It all supports where we were, but there's still so much more to know. And then a law is basically something we've known for sure, we've seen it, we've proven it, we know everything we know about that. So if you think about Newton's first law of motion, which states that an object at rest will remain at rest unless something else messes with it, basically. This board isn't going to move until another force acts on it. We know that, I know that, you know that, everyone knows that. Everyone's seen it happen. There's never ever been a case where something moved that there wasn't a force acting on it to make it move. Because of that, we know it for sure, we've seen it, we've done it, that's a law. Like I said, there are lots of hypotheses, very few theories, and even fewer laws. So how do we show all this scientific information? How do we show all this knowledge? There's a couple different ways we can do it. Obviously with experiments, these are formal science. This is the formal science process. We'll learn how to do a really great experiment very soon. You can make a model, and there's lots of different types of models. There's computer models, whenever they predict the weather, that was based on a computer model. There's mathematical models, that's a formula. There's real life models, like a model car. You can make a picture, a labeled picture is another type of model. And basically, how do we show all this knowledge? We are constantly, as scientists, sharing all of this information. And what they're doing with it, they are solving problems, they're building products, and expanding our scientific horizons, gathering more and more information to learn more and more about the world around us.